Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a very special edition of the JP Peterson Show as we come to you live from Bowden's Restaurant in Tallahassee as the Seminoles of Florida State get set to take on the number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide on Saturday afternoon here in Tallahassee. Oh, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Whoa, Nelly. That's not a great Keith Jackson. This is a little bit better, but we love Keith Jackson. I've had him on my show many times when I was a sportscaster up here in Tallahassee. And he used to come here all the time with that big jerk, Bob Greasy. And they would do college football. How are you, Timmy Ham?
Wait,
How you doing, buddy?
A big jerk? Don't tell me that.
Oh,
one of my childhood idols.
Yeah, one of mine, too. Don't ever meet your heroes. What a
Yeah.
jerk.
I don't know. Roger Staubach was pretty nice to me.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them are, but some of them aren't, Bob Greasy.
I'm doing well, JP. My head is still spinning. As I mentioned to you off the air, I got here to the studio about an hour earlier than I normally do, but I'm an hour behind because I've done 3 radio interviews this morning. I think one was in Milwaukee. I know one was in Chicago, one here in Dallas about the Micah Parsons trade. And then I had to do my own podcast here for FanStream Sports and our Cowboys podcast. And, dude, my head's still spinning. Like, I don't even know. Like, did it really happen?
Yes, it happened.
Gone? We don't have to pay him $42 million a year?
47.
Woo! I'm so in on this trade.
47
I'm so in.
And before we bury the lead, how about the USF Bulls last night? How about the USF Bulls? I went to that game last night, and, 5:30 start, wasn't a very impressive crowd. Players didn't care. Did not care. They laid it on the line. We're going to get into that. Pat Burnham's going to join us, covers your Florida State Seminoles, longtime assistant coach, also at USF. So he'll join us. We'll talk FSU,
By the way, I
Alabama.
think the Bulls players thought the game started at 6:30 because they didn't really start playing until later in the game.
There was a rope. It's what you call the rope-a-dope, Timmy.
It was. It was a good game, man.
Get the kids from up north in the arid lands where there's no humidity. You bring them in. You give them a little false sense of security. You kind of get back on the ropes and let them punch and punch and punch and punch. Yeah. And come second quarter, things change.
Great game.
Yeah. So it was, and it was kind of a rope-a-dope. They had minus 10 yards of offense before the last play of the first quarter. And Boise State was, but I think there was a little element of rope-a-dope. But I tell you what, the big difference for USF last night was their defense. Their defense, unfreaking believable. Todd Orlando's defense that was ranked 118th last year, 118th, damn near shut out a very, very good Boise State team. Don't get it twisted. This is a team that everybody just picked out of the group of 5 to once again go to the playoff. They bring back a lot of starters. They brought back their entire pass rush unit last night that led the nation last year. A great offensive line, an experienced quarterback. This was a very good Boise State team that USF absolutely whooped their ass. And they whooped their ass physically. They whooped it mentally in special teams. Nico Grammatica from 52, a fake punt. Pulling out, who was this kid's name? Hewlett. Lachlan Hewlett goes back to punt. Nobody notices him, and the 6'6" receiver on the outside. Nobody notices him, and they throw a deep ball for they're just getting ready to punt. I was sitting right there on the 50-yard line, and with the boys, and I'm like, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" And I'm like, "Why are you? You're at the 46-yard line. It's 4th and 6. Let's go. Let's go." And I'm like, so as I'm deriding Golish, the punter rises up and throws a bomb down the sideline for a touchdown. That flipped the whole game. It was 10-7 at that point. It was 17. Then it goes to 17-7. And then Byron Brown just takes over. I mean, if there's a better running quarterback in the nation, I want to see it. But I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but once he gets going, those strides, and Lord, he's looking for contact. He's looking for contact.
6'3", 230. He wants to hit somebody, whether somebody's coming at him or not. That touchdown run where he hit that, I don't know, safety or linebacker on the goal line. Good Lord. I
and he
texted
has the
you
whole
and I
field.
said, if he's going to keep doing that, he's going to have another short season because he can't survive that all season.
Well, he had the whole left side of the end zone to walk into.
And
this little safety came up in the middle. And he said, "Oh, you want some? You want some, little boy? Get your weight up."
Dude, that
and
was
he just
amazing.
trucks him at the line. That was an incredible run up the middle.
Yeah.
He takes an RPO to the outside, outruns the corner, outruns him to the boundary, and then forces his way in to the end zone for another. His best run of the night, touchdown run, was called back for a BS holding call. He breaks 3 tackles at the line of scrimmage, 2 more in the middle of the field, 1 more at the goal line, and that one's called back for holding.
Yeah.
And they still beat him 34-7. I mean, what a freaking beatdown by the Bulls. Their first win over a ranked opponent since 2016, Navy. That's what Joey Johnson told us yesterday. Somebody else said, and their the first one against a Power 4 since Notre Dame in 2011. So, I mean, what a win. And we talked about the importance of this win for USF. I mean, obviously, this is a critical time for them. As the Big Ten, it was leaked the other day that they're looking to expand. Obviously, if they take ACC teams, then USF is in play for the Big Ten and the ACC. But you got to win football games, and you got to win top 25 matchups. They had gone 0 for 19. If you're not winning top 25 games, you're irrelevant. You're irrelevant. That's how big this game is. It puts them on the map, and I think this game is going to look bigger at the end of the season than it even looks right now. Because I think Boise is going to go on to win the Mountain West. I think they're going to win 11, 12 games again. They got Notre Dame in a couple weeks. And if they spring that upset, look how big this win looks for USF. And now you look at the opportunity. You think the Florida Gators aren't going, okay. You don't think Miami's saying, all right, well, we kind of chalked that one up. And we got Notre Dame coming in here. They're not looking at it, but, trust me, they're both on notice. And that's the next 2 games, Florida and at Miami. And we said yesterday, if you can get one of these, you're golden. If you get one of them and come out unscathed for the most part, major injuries, you're golden. I mean, this is a team that should win the conference. It should win the conference. You beat Boise State like that, they've transformed their defense to a physical, and I mean physical group. Their linebacker duo was Mac Harris and Jalen Shuler. That's as good as I've seen. And those defensive backs were coming up and whacking guys. Jonas DeClona with a couple of had a caused fumble and a tackle for loss right in a row. It was just big play after big play after big play. And it was fun to watch. It wasn't, again, it was a weird time. It wasn't a huge crowd. Should have been.
It looked like the stadium filled in pretty nicely, though, at least in the lower bowl when I was watching on TV.
The students were awesome. The students packed the end zone. They packed the freaking end zone. And they didn't even cancel classes yesterday in the evening. Like, what are we doing?
Wow.
You're going to schedule a 5:30 game and you're not going to cancel night classes? What are we doing?
That's a little sketchy right there.
What are we doing? But the students showed out. It was a sparsely attended game. There's no other way to say it. And they deserve better. They deserve much better from their fans.
Well, you might get it after this performance, right?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. The problem is the home schedule is just not very good. It's a lot of Rice, UTS, and some of these are good football teams, but they don't have the national cachet of a Boise State. Now, hopefully, they'll be in more convenient times for people to go to. But anyway, it's a tremendous win.
I mean, you're playing the teams in your conference that are your rivals for now. They're your rivals, and that should attract not just student fans, but all fans. Like they should come see these games. We talked about it yesterday. Dude, it is a college football game. It is a college football environment. You don't get much better than that in sports. No. And it's right in your backyard.
Yeah.
So
I listen, man, I'm a college football freak, so I'm obviously biased. But if you're a sports fan of any note, and I don't care if it's Rice or UTSA, go watch the Bulls. That's a good football team. That's an entertaining football team. I mean, Byron Brown is as good a ticket as you'll get in college football. That guy's just trucking people as a 6'3", 235-pound quarterback. Looked like freaking Dante Culpepper out there. And I've seen Dante Culpepper on that field, and it looked very similar.
Byron Brown goes 16 to 24, 210 yards, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns, 14 carries, 43 yards on the ground. Dude's a beast.
Beast.
He's worth the price of admission right there just to watch that. And I know he didn't get on the field last year, and it was unfortunate. Obviously, we've talked about it. But, dude, he's here now. Better go out and see him now.
You better go out and see him. All right, before we get to Pat Burnham, who's going to join us here, and by the way, we're at Bowden's, which is this incredible restaurant right here in College Town, right across from Doak Campbell Stadium. So if you're coming to Tallahassee, you got to come to Bowden's. We got a little video, if you want to roll it, of just, it's got all the great memorabilia from Coach Bowden. Coach Norvell does his show from here each and every week. There you go. There's a Hall of Fame plaque for Coach Bowden. Here's a great shot of him when he played at Sanford. Little All-American. Great little quarterback, man. Really, really good player. Scat back. Had rheumatic fever when he was 5 years old, just like me. We shared that. We both had rheumatic fever and were bedridden for he was him for a lot longer than me, by the way.
Rheumatic fever. Wow.
Rheumatic fever, yeah. Had that when I was 5 years old.
It's like having polio. Yeah,
it's not good. You usually die, but the good Lord came by and saved me, just like he did Coach Bowden. We actually used to talk about that. I told him one time, I said, Coach, I had rheumatic fever too. He said, is that right? John, you had rheumatic fever like me? I said, yes, sir. I said, and you know what happened? True story. I was in the hospital, and they told my parents that I probably was not going to make it through the night because my fever was 106.
Yeah.
And so at that night, I started kind of yelling a little bit, and then I was talking, and the nurse came in. I remember this, and she said, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Jesus. Don't you see him? He's right there."
Oh, wow.
Jesus came into my room and said, "It's not your time. It's not your." I remember this. I know you all think I'm crazy, but whatever. I might have been just hallucinating because my fever was 106.
Right. You have fever dreams. That's okay, though.
That could very well have happened, but also it could have been Jesus right there. They just didn't. And the nurse is like, "I don't see him." I'm like, "He's there." And I told Coach about his story. She said, "Is that right? Is that right? I tell you, the Lord just said it was not your time. It was not your time, John." I'm like, "Yeah, you too, Coach." So anyway,
that's funny. So you were having fever dreams as a youngster, and you were seeing Jesus. I was having fever dreams when I had double pneumonia in second grade, and I was seeing Valerie Bertinelli.
I knew that was coming.
There's the difference between us, JP.
I was saved. You were condemned to a life of liquor and booze and women.
Yes.
Dumb thing. Could be worse. Could be worse. So anyway, the coach, one of my favorite people of all time. So just being here in this restaurant, Dave Roberts, who's going to join us, who played tight end for Coach Bowden, won a national championship. He's one of the owners here. He put this whole thing together to honor Coach Bowden. And it's a really, really cool spot. So if you're coming to Tallahassee, you got to come to Bowden's and check it out. And they got a nice picture of Lee Corso here. And Coach Corso's last game. Too bad ESPN couldn't move College Game Day to this big game. Instead, they had to copy Big Ten or Fox and go to that other game.
Dummies.
When you could have come here where Corso played as a college player, the Sunshine Scooter, and honored him, but they wouldn't do that. ESPN hates Florida State.
Idiots.
They're never going to do that. Anyway, we didn't. Let's play the Alex Golesh bite from last night. It's just that, and there was also a video from inside the locker room of him telling this to the player. So let's roll the victorious head coach, Alex Golesh, last night. Post.
Afterwards, gave out a couple game balls, but quoted one of the coolest, greatest guys, men that I've been around. I was only around him for a year and a half, but he said it before they made the run that they did.
Talking about Coach Amir.
Quoted Amir, "Man, this ain't the same old South Florida anymore." And I truly believe that. Felt his presence tonight in me. I don't know why or how, but that's a special dude that loved our football team and quoted him. So hopefully that sticks with these guys a little bit. I'll open it up to questions.
Wow.
We're getting spiritual here this morning.
Wow. Yeah,
we're getting spiritual on a Friday in Tallahassee.
Need to get Valerie Bertinelli on the show.
That's spiritual. That is spiritual. But But you know what? This is the magic of college football, man. This is why we love this freaking sport. You never know. The upsets, here they come, right? The last great game last night between Nebraska and Cincinnati, although I think Taylor was a little bored. So this is football too? I thought
this doesn't look like the Chiefs.
Don't you? Isn't this your stadium? Don't you normally play on this? Why are they playing here? I thought you were playing tonight.
Why are you not suited up?
Why are you and Patrick in here? Aren't you supposed to play? Who are these
college?
other people? Who are these other people? Who are these other little people here?
Oh, poor Bearcats.
But I wore my ring so everybody can see it. Oh, by the way, did you know my American Eagle campaign's going to drop today? Travis Kelce. And they're also dropping an album too. Oh, all this stuff comes at the same time. The podcast. Interesting.
Hey, did you know Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged?
Isn't that interesting how it all came at the same time? One kind of feeds into the other. These big campaigns.
Oh, for the love of God.
Interesting. All right. So before Patrick jumps on, is he jumping?
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready.
Oh, he's ready. Okay. Well, he can jump in here and talk this too. What's up, Patrick Burnham? How are you, my friend?
What's going on?
Brothers College Football Podcast, longtime assistant coach and Florida State insider. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
I am ecstatic to
today.
be here.
Yeah.
Ecstatic to be here. The upset's already started with your USF Bulls, my man, last night.
Yeah, you've got the fever. Golish has got the fever. Everyone's
got the fever.
Football fevers all over the place. Listen, it was fun to watch. Clearly, as y'all say, a little bit of slow start, but I mean, listen, that's going to happen, right? Boys,
rope-a-dope.
Sure.
Week one. Take a little time to find your sea legs. Everybody a little bit nervous. Everybody's running on rubber instead of muscle until you get hit the first time. But listen, they certainly look good on defense. That fake punt certainly changed the tone and tenor of the game. And what South Florida got going on defense, they look pretty good. They've listen. I started thinking about it. I wish Florida State had USF's linebacker.
Right?
They got some kids that can play. They obviously got a good friend, KP, the defensive line coach, Kevin Patrick there. So congratulations to KP. Listen, a lot of reason to be excited. You know I have an affinity for USF.
Yes.
But let's slow our horses. They got Florida next week. We'll see what happens with that. And the Golish is I kind of took a little bit of offense. This ain't the same old USF. When I was there, we won a lot of damn games.
Pat, are you trying to be the voice of reason here while we're all trying to celebrate a great win? What are you doing?
Shut your mouth, man. I'm trying to build up the magic.
I celebrated the win. I celebrated. Listen, right. I've got USF gear at my house. I'm just saying, hey,
we don't need the voice of reason today.
Let's
all right,
keep this in perspective. I forgot. I thought overreaction was supposed to wait till Monday, but we haven't even got to the football weekend yet.
No, National. They're going to the playoff. Don't you know?
But listen, we talked about this 2 weeks ago or a week ago, JP.
Yeah.
This team is set up for a run to get their first conference title since the program's inception. And they showed that. And listen, the great thing about this month is that it didn't factor into the conference race, right? So this turns out at the end of the year, this has got a chance to be a quality win that if they win the American Conference might keep them in the college football playoff. Now, conversation, a lot of road to hoe. They've got to get, right. But as we talked about South Florida, if you put any stock in preseason media polls, there's only 2 teams on their schedule that were ranked in the preseason ahead of them. So if it's chalk and those guys that cover that conference are right, South Florida has positioned itself with this win to be a part of the national conversation, no matter what happens in Florida and Miami, unless they're just outclassed in a big way on the scoreboard, right? So, but to your point, I was listening to you guys get started. Florida's got Long Island University tomorrow,
right?
But I think confidence and momentum mean something in football. I think you can carry it over from one week to the next, and certainly this team is going to go to Gainesville with some confidence, with some momentum. And listen, they were impressive, and obviously Golish's offense does give people fits at times. But a great start. Could not have gotten off to a better start. And you're right. That quarterback was very impressive. Now, listen, I've seen Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper makes that kid look small. He's a big kid. Yeah. So, listen, I'm happy for Florida. I was just texting with one of their director of NIL development this morning and said, listen, I hope some of those people you talk to will come off that money now that they've got a signature win, and Alex Golish is going into what, game 25 or 26 of his USF career. So
third year is when it's supposed to pop, right?
Great start. They look really good on defense, and they definitely had out-athleted Boise State and out-toughed them last night.
They really did. They really did. Hey, before we jump into FSU Alabama, I want to tap into the bigger national story and get your take on this as well, Pat. Micah Parsons getting traded for two ones, and Kenny Clark, my man over here, Tim, has been doing every show because he is a Cowboys insider. I'll go to you first, and then Patrick second. What do you think of the deal? What's and a lot of people thinking that the Bucs should have been in on this. I'm good. We're not. I'll take that part of it. But Timmy, you're first.
Yeah, let me preface this by saying this entire negotiating or non-negotiating period that we've had, I've been out on paying Micah Parsons $40 million plus. The Cowboys specifically can't afford it. You're paying Dak 60, you're paying CD upwards of 30. You cannot have a pass rusher that you're not the Browns. You're not the Steelers, okay? I've been against it the whole time. I was ready for a trade. I was afraid that we'd get like a first. It'd be like a Luka trade, right? It would get like a first rounder, a sixth rounder, and a backup cornerback or something. That said, I am ecstatic, number one, that he's gone. He was a locker room problem here in Dallas. That's all about to come out even more publicly than it already is. He was not the biggest proponent of making the team stronger. There were guys that didn't appreciate him going public with his podcast and calling people out and stuff. So I'm glad he's out of Dallas. I love Mike as a dude. His brother's been up here to the studio and done shows with us and stuff. I thought the haul was reasonable. National media was saying 3 firsts. There was no way that was ever going to happen. And if it did, if it was ever offered, Jerry would have pulled the trigger immediately. That said, also, you got 2 firsts and you got a all-pro, Pro Bowl defensive tackle in exchange. So now Mozzie Smith is out of the defensive line. Our run game, I say ours, the Cowboys' run game just got a whole lot better. The run defense got a whole lot better. And you can always find pass rush through scheme and things like that, right? Are you going to replace Micah? No. I'm okay with that. I think the defense is better right now than it was before the trade. I'm ecstatic as a Cowboys fan.
Pat, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's very rare that you see a player of his caliber get traded at the peak of his skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tim's much more aware of the situation there. It was clear that his off the field shenanigans with the podcast and all of that were wearing thin on people. Yep. And I think, and listen, you've got to decide who you're going to throw the money at, right? They gave a ton of money to Dak. They were irresponsible with that contract.
Yep.
They gave CeeDee Lamb a ton of money. And at some point, you got to pick who you're going to give the money to. And clearly he was not going to come back unless it was a huge number. Now, I think, and clearly he and Jerry Jones were not getting along. Now, and I agree with Tim. He was probably a little bit of a cancer in the locker room. I think now they need to get rid of the other cancer in that locker room, and that's Jerry Jones. I think Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones has got to make it. Listen, Dad, it's time. Listen, it's time to have the conversation.
He ain't effing leaving.
Yeah, I guarantee they've already had that conversation.
I know he's not, but it's it's just like, hey, Dad, we're taking the keys away. You can't drive at night. That's where they are with Jerry Jones. But listen, I kind of agree with Tim. $47 million for a defensive end was what they're paying the other guys. And listen, if you're a Dallas fan, I think you're upset because I know Tim said they're better on defense the way they're constructed now than without Micah. We'll see how that plays out.
We'll see.
But yeah, I think that it's definitely not a good message to your locker room that production does not count. But I think this situation got
sideways. It got sideways.
For
all those reasons. And here's the deal. I think this thing works for the Packers more than it works for the Bucs. You got to look at each individual team. And I saw a lot of people ask me on on Twitter, like, what do you think? Should the Bucs have made a play for him? And at this price, no way. 2 number 1 picks and a good player. So you would have been giving up, Yaya Diaby or maybe Vita Vea or Kalijah Cansey, inside guys that are extremely valuable to what you're doing. No, I'm not giving up one of those and 2 ones. I mean, plus you got to pay Gedeke, you got to pay Otten, you've got to pay a bunch of guys coming up, and you want to reward the guys and spread the money out. Plus, Mike Evans is going to need another contract as well. You've asked him to take less money. You've asked Baker to take less money. Everybody's all in. Now you're going to bring in basically a guy who doesn't fit the culture. You're going to pay him $47 million, way more than twice what Mike's making. It doesn't work for the Buccaneers. It just doesn't work. He's a great player. And listen, both of these number 1 picks are probably going to be in the 20s, so they're not premium picks. But Dallas now has 4 number 1 picks, I believe, in the next 2 years.
Next
right?
2 years. Yep.
Next 2 years. Plus, you get the player who's a really, really good player in the middle. I think Dallas is the winner in this trade. I think the Packers win too, because in their situation, they need an impact player.
Short-term win for the Packers, long-term win for the Cowboys.
I agree, and definitely not something that the Bucs should have been interested in. So,
well, listen, I think what's fascinating about this as we get more into this era of NFL football, Tom Brady could have leveraged the Patriots to the hilt when he was playing, but he wanted to win football games, right? He knew that, listen, I could be the highest paid football player in the history of the game. He could have been if he wanted to be. He could have sat out in the middle of a contract and Robert Kraft would have. But so how important is winning to Micah Parsons? And so he's not the only one. There are a ton of guys. You had T. Higgins and the other wide receiver at Cincinnati,
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. All those offensive guys took the money, and where they really need to spend some of that money in Cincinnati was on defense. And they almost cost themselves Trey Hendrickson. So I think. Yeah.
It's still Mike because they've only locked him down for this year. So
yeah, no, I think the Bucs are doing it the right way. I think the Bucs are doing it the right way. It's very anti-Cowboy, honestly, to not pay the star, to not overpay the star, because that's what Jerry has done mostly. Yeah. He has mostly said, I want the stars because that's what people come to see. I don't care if it makes my team worse in the long run. I need stars to sell tickets. That's what so this to me was a very anti-Jera thing to do, and I think it's the most responsible thing he's done in quite some time.
Yeah, this is hopefully the first domino to fall in in Jerry's philosophy of overpaying not just positions but players and being overly loyal to guys. And here's the deal, though: Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones is all about loyalty in business, in everything. And if you ever have any snippet of showing to be unfaithful and unloyal to him, he's done with you. And that was the situation here. Jerry thought they had a handshake agreement, whether right or wrong. That was what Jerry thought. And when it wasn't held up, Jerry lost all faith. He lost trust in Micah, and he was done automatically. And that's how Jerry operates.
Yeah, I think that's, listen, Jerry's got to get over that. That's not,
exactly.
Listen,
that's not how you do business anymore.
Right. Yeah. But listen, something happened in the background between those two that made it untenable. Yeah. And then you have a situation where that guy goes and lays down on that bench in the middle of a preseason game. And I think Jerry Jones finally, and listen, the straw that broke the camel's back may have already happened before that, but certainly the optics of that, I think Jerry Jones is, hey, listen, there's only one boss. There's only one guy in charge around here, and it's me. And if you can go make some money somewhere else, fine. But I'm not going to put up. I'm not going to put up with it. And I'm sure that Micah was tired of putting up with some of Jerry's shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good. It's interesting for the league, but I think in the end, the Cowboys win, the Packers win, and the Bucs win by not taking the bait here.
I'm so happy ESPN did not cancel coverage of the college football game.
Hey, some of them wanted to, trust me.
Yeah, I know.
We need to go wall to wall Cowboys conversation from here on into the rest of them. That's all we're gonna. Nobody cares about anything but Micah Parsons. No, actually, we do. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Pat's going to stay with us, and we're going to break down this FSU-Alabama game. Could we get a second upset here in Florida of a ranked team? I think it's going to happen. Hey, we are coming to you live from Bowden's here in Tallahassee. We thank them for setting this up. Dave Roberts, one of the owners, is going to join us here, former FSU player. We're also thankful to the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com, who brings us the Gator Report each and every week. And they are local, they are trusted, and they get results. The Jeeves Law Group, go get your free consultation and case evaluation. And OnSiteConstructionFL.com is our first hour presenter, the best contractor in all of Tampa Bay. Jason Fawcett is the owner over there. Tons of 5-star reviews. Go check it out online, OnSiteConstructionFL.com, and get on their preferred client list. Back in 3. Stay with us.
The Golden Diamond Source is working every day to be your family jeweler. Right now, a $5,000 engagement ring with 0% interest can be yours for just $83. So don't let the holidays sneak up on you this year. Now is the time to get ahead with their in-store layaway. Trade in your old jewelry for cash. Gold has never been higher. The Golden Diamond Source is offering the highest ever trade-in values for your gold and diamond jewelry. Now is the time to get your holiday shopping started. So come in now, relax, shop, and save at the Golden Diamond Source. We love Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local philanthropists, and you can find them at 3800 Olmerton Road in Clearwater, where you'll always find the perfect gift, only at the Golden Diamond Source. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, well, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Kingmakers in Tampa, where we normally do the show from. Not today. We're here in Tallahassee, but stop by Kingmakers. Great place to live, work, and play. You can do it all there. You can do your office work by day in some very cozy and wonderful office atmosphere, and then we have a great stylish conference room there. We have a studio you can use, and then at night turns into a sports playground with a sports bar a golf simulator, all kinds of fun stuff. So check it out at kingmakerstampa.com. All right, boys and girls, let's talk some FSU, Alabama. First of all, I mean, everybody's watching the game last night. You see upsets in Nebraska. I don't know if that was an upset last night, but nice to see them win a close game. You love it when I think the big-time powers are better in football, and that brings me to Florida State. Does it kind of set the table a little bit, put in everybody's mind that, hey, maybe this is underdog weekend? What do you think, Pat? You go with that?
I don't think there's any carryover from Tampa to Tallahassee. I don't think
Come
there's
on,
any
man.
I don't think Nebraska
Work with me here.
Cincinnati was an upset. Now, I'll tell you what I told you when we've talked about this game over the course of the offseason. This is Florida State's getting Alabama at the exact right time, breaking in a new quarterback at Alabama. Now you add some injuries to their starters, particularly the Keenan kid at nose tackle and Jam Miller at running. But this is still going to be a monumental task, in my opinion. I think Alabama is deeper. But listen, it is the first game. You know, I was sitting here thinking, I knew you were going to come at me with this. So I was kind of thinking, if you go back in time and you want to be positive, all right, so to me, go back to 1989 in Jacksonville, Florida, when a upstart Southern Miss program with a very athletic quarterback named Brett Favre upset Florida State, who was highly ranked going into that season. Anything can happen and will happen over the course of the college football season. But I do think that, you know, getting Alabama in week 1 versus week 6 is advantageous for Florida State. There are going to be new wrinkles in this offense, not only because it's Gus Malzahn, but more so because it's Tommy Castellanos at quarterback and what he can do off rhythm, right? When he can make plays with his legs, he can buy time. I think he is the wild card for this upset, along with the offensive line, which should be better. I still think it's a hard. You got them at home. I know I've seen a lot of stuff. Well, it's going to rain in Tallahassee, and look how that screwed them up in Tampa 2 years ago against USF in the opening game. I saw some stuff. Well, hey, USF runs a similar defense. That's exactly what Florida State's going to do to Alabama. They're going to pull their version of Boise State. I think it's people looking for hope, right?
Yes, we are.
I think that Florida State's got a chance to make a statement early. I think it's the only game out of their first 4 that we're going to really learn anything about this program. So I think that upset alert is okay to have them on upset alert, JP, because it is week 1. Alabama does have a new quarterback. They're out with some key guys, but nobody knows what to expect from this Florida State football team because almost every starter on offense is new to this program,
which is a good thing.
What exactly does Florida State have? No one's going to practice. We're all taking the state-run media at their word, and most of that is based off what the coaches are saying. And this is not a staff under Mike Norvell where you get anything but the positive outside of some things that Gus and Tony White have said, challenging the toughness and mentality of this football team. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm ready for it to get here so we can start talking about actual football on the field instead of what we hear,
making some evaluations.
But listen, you're at home, 3:30. Listen, I told somebody the other day that if you want to know the difference between Alabama and the SEC and Florida State and the ACC, we're going into a game where the coach at Alabama coming off a 9-3 season is under more pressure than a coach at Florida State coming off a 2-10 season. So there is a difference between these two programs and where they are at
right now.
The reality of it is I've seen too many people say all we want to see is we're in the 3rd version since Jimbo Fisher has left this program of saying we just want to see effort. Yeah. We just want to see a team. I mean,
be competitive.
Florida State needs to win ball games. They don't this narrative that, hey, I'm happy if they compete with Alabama and I'm happy if we see effort. These guys are getting paid. The coaches are getting paid. Effort should never be in question. And that's where we are heading into week 1 based off what I've seen from the fan base on social media. Now, I think this is a 7 or 8 win ball club coming into the season. I'm not going to be surprised if there is an upset. I would be surprised, but I think that Florida State has just got too many new pieces into this program to, at the end of the day, pull off an upset.
It's a lot.
In week 1.
It's a lot. It's a lot to ask. Timmy, get in here.
No, look, you guys are the Florida State guys. I'm just looking forward. I just hope both teams play well, and I hope both teams are happy with the outcome. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus,
I hope they have
right.
fun. I hope they have fun. No, look, I'm not a Bama fan. Haven't been for a long time. If I look, and I've since doing the JP show, I've become a Florida State guy, obviously, because JP made me sign a contract to do that before I on the show. But look, I do think Alabama's down. They had a down year. I don't know how Kalen DeBoer is going to work out in the long term. But that said, roster wise, they probably have an advantage. But give me Florida State because of the emotional factor here.
And 13.5 points is not bad.
No,
Are you, Tim, are you calling it outright or cover the spread?
I'm calling it outright.
All right.
Oh, you're taking the money line. You're taking the money line. FSU upset. Wow.
FSU upset money line.
I'm kind of with Pat. Until I see something, I can't make any evaluations whatsoever. I mean, I saw Alabama in their bowl game. I know that wasn't their best version of Alabama, but they didn't look like the Alabama of old. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, they weren't intimidating. I thought it was a very average team under Kalen DeBoer last year, and they lost a lot of good pieces. Now they've got great talent. They've got 5 or 6 guys that are clearly going to play in the NFL. I don't know if you could say that about FSU right now, but we'll see. All I know is they have a completely rebuilt offensive line, which is a huge part of that. They've got some really good skill players. I can't wait to see Jalen Lucas, who we saw for about 2 plays last year. Mm-hmm. His explosiveness, Usman Kroma, the freshman running back. I want to see a little bit of what he can do. The tight end, Randy Pittman, who's been productive in college football. Squirrel White from Tennessee. Of course, Donovan. I mean, these guys are big freaking players and have played some big-time football. And I expect them to be a hell of a lot better than what we saw last year. Is it good enough? I don't know. Yeah. But it should be a hell of a lot better offensively. And defensively, I do take some solace out of what I saw from USF last night, because Tony White is talking that same game here, and we've seen his Nebraska defenses do this. They run around and they hit people. And whether you can get Earl Little and this crowd to jump in there and do something they certainly weren't doing last year remains to be seen. But I'm hopeful. I think coaching freaking matters. To your point, Pat, they've had some terrible coaching at Florida State over the last year, maybe longer. That 13-0 team was supremely talented. They masked a lot of the coaching problems that they had, and it all showed up last year. So they cleaned house. They did what they're supposed to do. And frankly, I can't wait to see what it looks like. I mean, yeah, I'm glad we're catching Alabama, but I think we're going to be a much better football team 6 games in as well. So,
there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. And listen, they've got to be right. I mean, we set the bar low if we don't think they're going to be better, or the bar set low to be better. I mean, 2-10 last year. Listen, I think that Deuce Robinson is supposed to be a guy. All the former Florida State players I've talked to are fired up about Deuce. They say he's a real deal. Squirrel Wright is a playmaker. Castellanos, as I've said all offseason, that was everyone. He was a lightning rod when they signed him because of how he exited Boston College and his turnovers. If they can take the turnovers out of his game, which he averages over 2 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
He's at 31 turnovers and 21, not a little bit over under 2 per game. You take the turnovers out of his football game on a regular basis, which, listen, he hasn't proven that he could do that. But if he does, he's going to win some games for Florida State that they should not win, meaning he gives them a chance to upset an Alabama, a Miami. He is electric. He can run. He's obviously ran for over 1,000 2 seasons ago, ran for over 1,000 yards. Was not a good fit for the Bill O'Brien offense. Listen, the offensive line, I'm not going to say they're going to be Joe Moore Award winners. I'm not a huge fan of every transfer. I'll say this: the transfers are better than what they replace. Now, interesting story: Jeremiah Byers, who could not block anybody last year, made the Arizona Cardinals 53-man roster. Is that an indictment on development from Florida State? And that's time for another story. That's another segment. But yeah, so I'm not. Listen, we're talking about this week's game, right? We're not talking season going through the season. Yes, you would think that they would continue to only get better. The ACC schedule in particular is very friendly for Florida State outside of Clemson and Miami.
Yeah.
And with Mario Cristobal coaching at Miami, he might.
Who knows?
Who knows? What Miami teams Florida State's going to get. But yeah, should they be better? Yes, I think Mike will have this team more prepared. I think Gus Malzahn and Herb Hand on offense certainly will. And there needed to be a new voice on defense. And Tony White certainly, at least in his press conferences, talks like a coach should talk. And he didn't call kids out by name.
No.
But he did call.
But he called them out.
To me, that was refreshing because it also is, that's something that Mike really doesn't do. Mike does not, it's all positive. Mike speak it the truth type of guy. And I have an appreciation for that as well. But it was refreshing because when you hear him talk about that group accountability, that honestly in front of the media, you can be sure that when he goes into those meeting rooms, he is being very specific about who he's talking to and who needs to turn up the heat and get going. But listen, the defense should be impressive. I'm looking forward to see what Darrell Jackson does. Does he play up to his potential? Can James Williams, who got the most notoriety coming out of the portal, can he turn into an every down player? He was a third down guy at Nebraska last year. Can he play on first and second down? And then, listen, I'm looking to see how the linebackers playing here. I was a little bit surprised that Blake Nicholson did not beat out Juice Cryer. He is probably one of the better runners on that defense. Now, Cryer is an excellent effort guy, really smart, coach's kid. Love his game, love the way he plays with passion. And then, listen, the secondary is young. So there's some question marks. And at the end, my biggest question on Florida State season long is how deep are they, right? Because they got so many young players that haven't had a chance to go out and prove themselves yet. And so we're probably going to see some guys step up. And if they do, Florida State's got a chance to have a really good season and kind of get this program back on track. But again, to me, it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage on offense and what Tommy Castellanos does with that football.
JP had mentioned bad coaching, obviously, here last year and recently. Is Norvell on a leash this year, or do you think he's got the whole year to figure out whatever he needs to figure out?
I think it would have to be catastrophically bad with his contract. And listen, you can make the argument that with the advent of the NIL, programs are going to start putting the resources into players and not coaches, right? So if he can figure out a way to go 7-5, I think it would take. They would have to look like they were going to end the season with 4 wins for there to be a change in Tallahassee. I saw somebody write the other day. They thought the magic number was 7. He had to get to 7.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that's true.
Aggressive.
Listen, and here's the thing, and JP and I have talked about this, my brother and I have on the Burnham Brothers podcast. All right, here's the thing. You got to look at how the calendar sets up for a coaching transition, right? So Mike Alford and the powers that be would have to make that decision long before the Florida game, right? Because you've got to have a head coach in place when the portal opens, and you would like to have that head coach in place before the National Signing Day, which is the first week in December. So there are a lot of things that work in Mike's favor, the numbers on his contract in the buyout, the recruiting calendar, the portal calendar.
Right.
And so Florida State would have to be in such a dire situation going into week 8 of the season but if they're 500 throughout the season, no, I don't think you can pull the trigger on him. I think he's coming back in 2026. Listen, he plays, if you buy the chalk the media sells, he's playing the 4 bottom feeders in the ACC this year: Stanford, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. All right, so that's 4 automatic wins. Should be. Then you got East Texas A&M State, whatever the hell their name is, and then you got Kent State. That should be 6 wins.
Gimmies. Yeah,
6 wins. So it's really can you get an upset? If you get an upset, you got a chance at 8.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't trust polls anymore. I don't trust what coaches.
No, we don't know what the hell. We don't know what the hell we're looking at. We don't. We have no idea.
No, I don't. I think Mike Norvell's back next year unless it just goes off the rails.
I agree.
And we see some unforeseen things. I think he's. I think the fan expectation is 8 or 9. I'm not sure how. I think 8's realistic. I think 9 is all the breaks go your way with the schedule.
And you're happy with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're happy with it. And we've seen it happen before, right? In 2023, all the breaks went their way. Listen, some of last year, as bad as it was, they were in some games that they could have won last year and didn't. They didn't get any breaks. So listen, I think that it would be. I just cannot see. Of course, I didn't see it last year either. Nobody did. But listen, I think Mike's 10-3 and 13-1 certainly bought him some goodwill, got him a very big contract.
Well, of course, and it should.
Yeah. So I think it would just be. Yeah. I would have to be so catastrophically bad that. And listen, I just think the NIL. I think, hey, listen, if we can get to a bowl this year. Build some positive momentum going into 2026. Hold on to this recruiting class. Go attack the portal. Send those resources that you were going to pay off the staff with and buy players. And then if it's not working by the end of 2026.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
All right, Pat. Awesome stuff, man. It's the Burnham Brothers College Football Podcast. You can find it on FanStream Sports Tampa Bay. You can find it on Twitter. Follow them. Subscribe to their channel as well on YouTube. It's the Burnham Brothers College Football Podcast.
Hey, tell Dave I said hello, number one.
We'll bring him in.
Ask him if the FanStream Networks gets a tab at Bowden's.
we got a free place to do the show. That's the tab.
Yeah.
I thought there might be unlimited.
Well, listen, there was nobody behind the bar, so I'm already headed behind the bar here during the break. So Dave doesn't know this yet. So bring Dave in. Let's bring Dave in.
Tell him I don't drink like I did when I was in college. I only need a couple.
We can't get a 4-shot, can we?
I'm working on it.
It sounds like Dave is remote. Is he coming back?
Yes, he's
coming back from Tampa.
Yeah, of course. He was there last night at the USF game with me, with his son Cade, plays the all-time leading receiver in the state of Florida history.
Yes,
there they are.
Yeah.
I know Dave is fired up this morning.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
You look like you had a rough night, Dave. Were you celebrating deep into the night, my man?
Just kind of rolling out of bed. That was obviously pretty cool. This is just a weird situation, man, because I'm sitting in a hotel in your hometown.
Yes.
In my bar in Tallahassee.
Yes.
What's
wrong with this picture?
I mean, worlds colliding. We're talking about Florida State. We're talking about USF. Got my boy Pat there looking for a free bar tab. You're
that's right.
On the bar. I mean,
some things never change, brother. Some things never change. Yeah.
This is a question. It's just a question.
That's a beautiful thing. All right, get out of here, Pat.
All right, guys. Y'all have a fun show, Dave. Look forward to
you this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, man. Y'all have a great one.
All right, man.
All right, so let's welcome in our good friend Dave Roberts, who, yes, is the owner of this bar, Bowden's, here in beautiful College Town. And I'm here. You're not. The bar is unattended. That's a bad move on your part, by the way. So, but welcome in. And for those who don't know, Dave also played for Coach Bowden at FSU from 86 to 1990. That was the group that really got things revved up. And tell the folks a little bit about the genesis of this restaurant, Bowden's, and what you guys put together here.
Yeah, so we're going into our third season. So we've been in operations about 2 years. The restaurant was formerly a different concept that I had a very small part in. And 2 years ago, we had the opportunity, myself and my partner, John McCann, and a couple of other guys to kind of open Bowden's, and pitched it to my partner, John, another partner we had at the time, Mike Evertson, and everybody was on board. Went to the family, and obviously I've got some good ties with the family, with Tommy and Ginger, Terry, They were all for it. They were so supportive of doing this. And so the idea behind the bar or the restaurant is to, have a place that kind of honors Coach Bowden. You mentioned earlier, we have all that memorabilia in there.
Cool.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick. When we decided to do this, my partner, John, and I went out to Killarn to Miss Ann's house, and she basically said, "Hey guys, y'all take any of this stuff you wanted. I'm tired of looking at it after all these years." we literally kind of took stuff off the wall there at Coach Bowden's house, and brought it to the restaurant and put it up, and so we thought it was a great thing to do, a great tribute to Coach, and there was a real need for a place like that.
Yeah,
the kids and the community can go to right around the stadium. So we're proud of what we did, what we've done, and looking forward to this great weekend.
Yeah, it's a perfect place to hang out tonight. They have they close off the streets here in front. They have the down. I don't know if it's the downtown, whatever they call it now, but it's just a block party. Have the live band out there. Is your band going to be playing out here in front? Still playing?
I'm semi-retired from being a professional musician, but
yeah, that was fun stuff.
One of the great things that we do at Bowden's is we have live music on weekends, and Zach Miller band's playing tonight and tomorrow night, and
nice.
Really really cool country music, and we're proud not only of the restaurant and the name, but kind of bringing a live music venue down around
which
campus.
We need. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, so Dave, you played for Coach Bowden. Just some memories of playing for him and what made him so special. I mean, you've honored him with this restaurant, but you, like me, I didn't even play for the guy. I just covered the team, and he's like a grandfather to me, like a dad to me. I've always seen it that way. I learned so much from Coach. What did you get from him?
Well, I think I think one of the biggest thing I ever got that I kind of learned from him is to be yourself. Coach Bowden was behind closed doors what you saw on TV. And his persona never changed. The way he treated people never changed. He was who he was, and that's something that I've always tried to emulate. He was a big proponent of, you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you don't be fake, be who you are, and be true to yourself and true to others. And I think that's probably for me one of the bigger lessons that I got from the man.
And from a coaching standpoint, what was there moments that kind of described his greatness, why he was so good? Obviously, he was a tremendous recruiter. He was a relationship guy. He built great relationships with the families and the players. What would you say were the top traits that made him win?
Well, I think, going back to what I said a moment ago, just being himself. He had the ability to go into, it was obviously a different world back then before NL and what's going on in college football. But, he had the ability to go into someone's living room and convince mom and dad that if you send your son down to play for me, I'm going to take care of him, and I'm going to treat him right. I'm going to hold him accountable. But I'm going to do everything I can to advance him in all aspects of life. I myself, going to Florida State was never really a thought. I had several offers, and it actually committed to Clemson. And, my mom loved Coach Ford, Danny Ford, and we were doing that. And Florida State kind of came into the picture a little bit late. And my mother, I remember, was very, very skeptical. But Coach Bowden and Brad Scott came to the house and kind of sold everything. And so I got the green light to go to Tallahassee, and best decision I ever made. On the football field, it was funny. Last night, I'm sitting in Ray J, and I watched the fake punt, which really turned that game around. and just kind of shades of the punt Ruski. I mean,
Yeah.
First comment was, who does that?
Right.
Very, very unexpected situation last night when Coach Golish called that fake punt from midfield in a 3-point ball game, and I, it kind of took me back to the game at Clemson in '88 when we.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just that riverboat gambler.
Were you on the field for the punt, Ruski? Were you on punt team?
I was there. I wasn't on the field,
right.
But
you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. And there's, you can tell stories and stories about that. But
go ahead, tell that story of the punt, Ruski.
Well, it was funny. We practiced
1988 Clemson, by the way.
Yeah, and Coach Bowden, I think, got that play from a high school coach in South Georgia, and we worked on it. We worked on it all week. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But just kind of the shock of it being called at the time,
Yeah.
In that situation where you're on your own 19-yard line, and in that situation in the game with the game be tied, they had a great kicker, if I recall. So it was just kind of crazy. So last night when Coach Golish called that play, it just kind of really reminded me, and it also reminded me, USF playing this schedule they're playing.
Yeah.
Another great thing about Coach Bowden is, he had the reputation of being willing to go play anybody at any time. And I know games are a little different now. They get scheduled well in advance, but I think it's pretty cool that, USF, where my son's playing now, they're, 3 of their first 4 games are against Boise, Miami, and Florida. And I think that's kind of what put Florida State on the map back in the 70s, Coach Bowden's willingness to play whoever, anytime. And I'm excited for the Bulls this season, kind of having those early season marquee matchups. And so just a lot of similarities that I was kind of thinking about as I was watching that game last night.
Well, I'll take us behind the curtain a little bit. Dave Roberts joining us here, owner of the Bowdens here, where we're sitting in Tallahassee. His son, Cade, plays for USF, was part of that win last night. So what did Cade say about the celebration afterwards, how confident they were, and how good this team is? I mean, he's been there a few years. He's seen the whole Golish thing come together. Well, how confident does he feel that this team can go on a run?
He's more excited than I've ever, seen him. I mean, Cade's a football guy. His aspirations are to coach there at USF when he gets done playing, and hopefully he may have that opportunity there or somewhere else. But Cade's kind of a student of the game, and he shoots me straight on things when I ask him about various aspects of the team, and he's excited. And I know they're excited. They have recruited extremely well. I think the last 2 years they've had the top G5 recruiting class in the country, and it kind of showed last night. And they had a lot of young guys playing last night. So I think they've got something really cool going on. They're stacking classes. They're using the portal as well as high school recruiting, which I think these days to be successful, you have to do that. So I'm it's a good thing going on. He's had a great experience there. It was kind of a funny situation how he ended up there. He signed with Jeff Scott, the son of the coach that signed me at Florida State. And he's had a great experience there. He graduated in 3 years. He's getting his master's. He interned for you.
Yes, that was the key.
I appreciate that. Yeah, got his undergrad in broadcast journalism and is getting his master's in entrepreneurship. So it's been a great experience. And he's kind of, it's been cool too that, he's kind of carved his own path there at USF. And, we kind of wanted that for him to go there. And so it was a great opportunity for him.
That's awesome. Well, Dave, last question for you. I don't want to bring back bad memories, but I think you played in that 89 game in Jacksonville when Brett Favre beat FSU in the opener, the hottest day of your life, I think. That 88 opener, what didn't go so well either. What is the key to getting out to getting an upset like this? What are these FSU players thinking right now as they're getting ready to play what is a huge game in this program? Because, I mean, as you know, $265 million just went into the stadium. There's $365,000 for a brand new field they had to put down. The indoor practice. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of big time pressure. They've got everything they need to be successful. It's time for the players and coaches to answer the bell. So there's pressure here at Florida State. What are these kids thinking? What's the opportunity like?
Yeah, I think the difference, the two games that you mentioned, the difference between those two games and what we Florida State kind of have in store tomorrow. If you remember, in '88 we were ranked first in the country. There was the disastrous Seminole Rap.
Seminole Rap.
And then,
were you in the Seminole Rap? You were in that.
I was. I don't like to talk about that, but and then so we got waxed.
Dig it up, Tim.
We got waxed down, in '88 in that first game. I think it was a lot of overconfidence. Similarly, in '89, that we lost our first game to Southern Miss, we were favorites in that game as well, big favorites, if I recall.
Yep.
So, coming into this Saturday, we're 13.5-point dogs in the game. And so I'm hopeful that, these guys are going to be hungry. But like you said, it's going to be important to kind of see where we are. The weird thing about college football right now, it's just really hard to tell, with all the transfers coming in.
I just don't know.
And stuff like that. It's really hard to tell. But I think first games are very important. Wanted to give a shout out to my high school team, Phil Teese and the South Walton Seahawks. Big win last Friday, and we've got a big game tonight.
Who'd they beat?
Gulf Breeze, big Gulf Breeze.
Oh,
5A
damn.
school. We're a 2A school, big Gulf Breeze, 5A school. So excited for my Seahawks, and just excited to see how the Noles play. I heard y'all talking earlier about, these moral victories and did we play hard, that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, that's still important, but I'm hopeful for a really good showing, regardless of what happens on the scoreboard. I want to see us compete.
Damn right.
I want to see us do something more than play hard. I want to see us compete and put ourselves in a position to have that game close going in the fourth quarter.
Damn right. All right, Dave. Thanks for having us set up here. Appreciate you. I'll see you, I guess, tonight. You'll be here. So
yes, sir. I appreciate you.
I'll be doing the celebrity bartender thing. We got to compete with the guys across the street. I know they're bringing in Burt Kreischer, but you got me. So I'll be taking my shirt off and bartending.
I think we
got to go head to head with those guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we're proud of Bowden's. John McCann, my partner, and all those guys, and I'm looking forward to a great weekend. I'm going up and staying with my old roommate Bill Reagans, and
nice.
It's just going to be a great weekend.
We're gonna get you guys up on the stage tonight. All right,
yes, sir.
Love you, brother. Thanks, man. Congrats on the big win last night. Let's get another one here this weekend.
Sounds good. Go
Great
Noles.
Dave Roberts, former FSU tight end, owner of Bowden's, all of dad, Cade's dad. So it's a nice connection between USF and FSU. See what we got going here? We're speaking it into existence, Timmy. It's what we're doing.
JP, remind me. So I'm testing my my 80s college football Florida brain.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I watched that game.
Yeah. 1988, Miami, 31-0.
So that was Leroy Butler, correct?
The punt rescue was Leroy Butler in 88. Yeah. Both of those teams, by the way, that lost their first game came back to finish in the top 5 at the end of the year with Fiesta Bowl victories. So they were great. They were really good teams that started slow.
Because it seems like every time Leroy Butler took the field for the Packers, for some reason that my brain went there.
Yeah, the punt rescue
and the punt rescue. Okay,
absolutely. Right. That's where Leroy first got on the map. Yeah. Well, I was there at that game in '88 in Clemson. It was pouring down rain, and the place was just going bananas.
Yeah, because that was at Clemson.
It was at Clemson, and it was raining, and we were down 17-10 late in the game, and I'm sitting down at they're punting the ball to Dion, and Dion walks their whole sideline as he's going back, and he's just saying to the whole sideline, "It's going back. It's going back." He told everybody, walked right up to Danny Ford and said, "It's going back," and that idiot kicked it to him. And 82 yards later, Dion was sitting in the end zone, and he tied. I think it was 17-17 at that point. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And he ran right at me. I saw the sea parted, and he went through a gap that was about 2 yards wide and exploded and was just gone. And he scored, and then about a quarter later, there's still a tie game. We're at our own 19-yard line with about 3 minutes left. Who does that? Who does a fake punt in that situation? Bobby freaking Bowden. And the rest is history. The rest is just what a day. And then Bobby, I go into the press conference at Clemson, and Bobby's like soaking wet. And he starts. So we're asking him about the play. He starts moving the chairs in the press conference room to set it up. Like, all right, Leroy's over here like this, and then what's the center is gonna bat to Dane Williams, who's gonna put it between his legs here. And Bobby's like bending over, showing us like how the whole thing works, and doing it play by play. And I'm shooting it in my 3/4 inch camera, going, "Oh my God, this is the greatest footage of all time." So he explained the whole play to the whole media, and it's just quintessential Bobby Bowden.
You'll find the footage, JP.
Bobby
You'll
Bowden.
find it. We need to watch it.
I have it somewhere in my archives. I don't know what box it's in, but it's somewhere in my archives. It's ESPN has it because I sent it to them.
Yeah.
It's in the archives somewhere. So,
nice.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We have a live guest here. We have a live Florida State insider that's going to give us a little bit of scoop on what's going on here in Tallahassee. So don't go anywhere. We're live from Tallahassee. JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source, On-Site Construction, third-generation plumbing, Cafe Paradiso, Riveters, of course, and the Jeeves Law Group, and Kingmakers and Genesis of Tampa. Did I get them all in? I'm like a NASCAR guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Back in 3.
Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week. So go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome into the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here live from Tallahassee. Come a little bit over further there. We'll just you got the camera. There we go. Our FSU insider Emily Peters is joining us here as we are going live from Bowden's here in Tallahassee. You've been here a few times, huh? Yeah, great spot. They open up at 11:30. By the way, if you're coming in town, stop by for lunch. Tell them JP sent you, or come by tonight. They have a live band going tonight. So get here early. It's going to be packed to get your tables. It's going to be an incredible show this weekend. How are you?
I'm good. How
Our
are you?
FSU insider, Emily Peters.
Okay.
I heard you got a tour of the new facility. It's a whole new thing yesterday.
Yes.
Tell us.
I got a tour from the man himself, Michael Alford.
Our good friend, the
wonderful
FSU athletic director, Michael Alford, was on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Said he might stop by today.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyways, well.
He's got a board of trustees meeting, maybe a little bit more important.
Day before game
Yeah,
day.
you know.
Probably has
He's got some things to do.
on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, this is the JP Peterson.
I mean,
It's
right?
the place to be.
Come on. Come on, here we are.
But no, it truly looks amazing. I was very cautiously excited about football season until yesterday when I stepped foot into the stadium. It made it all feel real. I was like, okay, we're about to play football.
Yeah.
And it looks gorgeous. Like when you walk in the general kind of walkways, it's so much brighter. It doesn't look dark and dingy. It's like the walls are brighter. There's a beautiful entrance.
It's got the spear too.
Yep.
You've seen some. Yeah, it's really cool.
Iconic entrance. That's
Yeah.
exactly what Doak was missing. And the one thing that Michael Alford said that he was most excited for fans to see was the bathrooms.
It's not a trough anymore?
No.
Oh my God.
No. And
We
I
have
was
new
a little bit-
bathrooms finally.
Yes, new bathrooms. I was a little bit taken aback when he said that was what he was most excited for fans to see. But I think
And fans
new
are as well.
bathrooms-
Those are the
Yeah.
same bathrooms they had when I was a student here in the 80s. Still, and, the whole stadium is still the old erector set
Mhm.
underneath. But now it's at least covered up. We got new bathrooms, new concession
bathrooms,
areas.
big.
It's not just for the hoity-toities. They redid the whole thing.
The whole entire thing. So, and a lot of the seats are a little bit wider. So, of course, that capacity went down a little bit. I know some people weren't super
Yeah.
happy about that,
Yeah,
but
it's what
it's
it-
more spacious. You'll definitely be more comfortable. And overall, the fan experience, Michael Alford put his heart and soul into the planning of this, the execution. And I mean, I've been up here a few times the past few months and kind of watching it come together and watching the final pieces come together. I know he was a little bit emotional talking to me
Oh, I
about
bet.
it just the last few years, seeing this all come together. And I mean, it's beautiful. It really is.
Well, $265 million upgrade to the stadium. And yeah, they're going from, I think, 77,000 to about 67,000. And that, it's you don't want to lose the numbers, but we weren't averaging that many anyway. And it's all about money now. You got to get the premium dollars. You got to get the money to pay the players. You got to get the money to stay competitive. And there's a downside to it. Some people do get priced out. I get that. That's not great. But this is where college football is going. You can sit around and cry about it and lament some of the negatives, or you can lead the way. And that's what he's doing. And it's bold strokes and spending a lot of money, and there's a lot of resources. And now the team has to step up and play that way.
Yeah. And
They've
that's
got to
exactly
answer the
what he
bell.
said. Was
Yeah.
just that he wanted to be one of the best stadiums in college football. So, kind of creating that space and creating that experience for fans was so important. And, he could have expanded it and squished people in like sardines, but then people are
Right.
going to complain about that.
Exactly.
There's no winning sometimes.
It's all done though.
It's all
It's all finished.
Yes, pretty much.
There were
Maybe
some
a few.
people were a little. Are they going to get it done on time? Because
Yeah.
it's a hell of a project to do that while you were playing last year, and then get it finished this year with all the supply chains and issues that are going on. It's no small task to get it all done. So it's done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of, the final touches on certain things. But I was just up here a couple of weeks ago for soccer's first couple of games, and I saw the construction people out, and I was like,
Is it going to
"Is
be
this gonna
done?
be ready?"
Is it going to be ready?
But yeah, it's definitely looking good.
All right. Have you heard anything about the players, where their heads at, what's going on?
Everybody seems very cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Like all of the
All right.
people that work around the stadium that I work with, everybody feels like there's kind of this pressure, kind of like you talked about earlier in the show. There's so much pressure, just the stadium aside. I mean, you're coming off a crazy year. There's this kind of weird excitement in the air, but it's not quite there yet, and you don't know what to expect. So I think people are trying to go into this open-minded. I think the players are probably trying not to think so much about all of that pressure. Just go out and play. And I think that's probably what Coach Norvell is telling them to do too. Like, don't think about everything else. I know the weather could potentially be a factor tomorrow.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into that. I think it said 70% chance of rain, but that's
I think it's
every
going
day in
down,
the summer.
actually, which
Yeah.
is good. And
No,
getting a
the
little bit
future
later.
radar that I looked at didn't show any major line of storms or anything like that. But lightning delay, we don't need that. We don't need that.
No, definitely not. But I know that's been kind of circulating, and Coach Norvell was like, we're not worried about that. We're not thinking about the weather. We're not thinking about all of these other factors. We're thinking about all the hard work that we've put in, and it's kind of the mindset you have to have, I guess.
Well, the good news is, even though 2-10 is what it is last year, most of these players are new. The coaching staff is new, and these guys have played. Most of these guys that transferred in have played big-time college football at other places, so this is not going to be new for them. The speed of the game is not going to be new for them, but playing together is, and that's a huge advantage that Alabama has. These guys have grown up; they're talented players. They've been in the same system now for 2 years. It's all new for Florida State, and that takes time for the players to get. So that's the downside, but the other side is you're at home field. And you better have a home field advantage tomorrow. Hopefully the crowd is bananas. I'll be interested to see how loud it is versus how loud it used to be, because there's going to be less fans in there, and the fans that are closest to the field are where the suites are and all that. So there's a trepidation on my part. Are those fans going to be engaged? Are they going to be back in the air conditioning, watching the game on TV, and there's going to be kind of a vacuum in the middle? I don't know. We'll see. But it is a bit of a concern.
I think you'll see, like, especially the suite areas. I got to see the founder suites, which are absolutely amazing. They are phenomenal. Like, if you get a chance to go into one of those, please, let me tell you, they are beautiful. But the West Sideline Club area, there's this whole outside little patio area.
Yeah,
it almost looks like a restaurant.
Yeah.
And, you have your outside kind of mingle. And I feel like a lot of fans will really enjoy taking advantage of that area.
I hope they're out there, and I hope they're cheering. I hope they're getting after it.
Loud out there. Yeah. It's really great hanging out area.
All right, so what if you're going to give anybody, since you've been in Tallahassee and you know all the hot spots, where to go, how do you play the weekend? What's your strategy as far as coming down to College Town? Where do you park? Where do you go? Where do the lines start? Give me the hacks.
I don't know if I can give you my parking hacks, because then
that's fine. Okay,
so I'm going to gatekeep
don't do that.
those.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
I was just thinking about the kind of plans, how I want to manage my weekend up here. And obviously the block party here in College Town is going to be poppin'. Got some live music. It's going to be a really great spot. Might be a little crowded, so get here early. My favorite spot has always been Madison Social.
Can't say that when you're in Bowden.
I know. I almost caught myself.
Well, you're not getting in Madison Social.
People,
and you're not getting in here either tonight unless you get here early. So get here early.
Get here early.
And they have a live music tonight here as well. So not only will they have it out there, but they'll have it in here.
Well,
later on into the night.
Bowden's also a great option
if
you're not feeling Madison Social or Township or one of those. I don't know. There's also Midtown.
Yeah.
If you want to get away from the crowd.
Yeah, Midtown's an option. We might be out, and there's out in the Clarn area. They have a big the kind of have a place out there off of Burnham Road, I think it is, if you're staying up in the adult areas. And they have bands over there, and all the restaurants, kind of a block party that they have there. So we may be taking that in as well today. So it's here. It's finally here. I will say,
though, don't shy away from the crowds. Definitely come out here to the block party, because I've already seen, just walking around, it's almost 11:30. I've been kind of walking around, and actually, I don't know if that's actually the time. Yeah, there we go. My phone must be wrong. Anyways, I've already seen some Alabama fans walking around.
There's going to be a lot of
We can't let them outnumber us. We have to.
There's going to be some Bama fans here. There's no question about it. They made the trip. So, All right, Emily, thanks for stopping by. Yes. Have a great weekend. All right, coming up next, Tim May is going to join us. Longtime Ohio State journalist. This guy knows the Buckeyes like nobody else. So we'll set that big game up coming up with Ohio State and Texas that precedes this one on Saturday. We're live from Bowden's here in Tallahassee, presented by the great folks at OnSiteConstructionFL.com, Kingmakers, and Genesis of Tampa. Back in 3.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5, and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. As we're coming to you live from Tallahassee here at Bowden's Restaurant in College Town, the heart of all the happenings here as FSU gets set to host number 8 Alabama in a huge opener, 3:30 tomorrow. And, of course, the game that precedes that is a little tilt up in the horseshoe. You might be interested in it as Ohio State takes on Texas. And joining us now, man that's been covering the Buckeyes program for over, 40 years, the great Tim May. What's up, Tim? How are you?
What's up? I think the stock market, I hope, is up. Number 2, the temperature is down. It's not going to be 90. It's going to be like 68 or 70 at kickoff.
Oh, nice.
That's fantastic for the last week of August. Are you kidding me? That's fantastic for the last week of December, for that matter. But
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's without a doubt, what a fantastic tilt. And I think what makes this game very interesting to me, at least, and before y'all even ask me a question, is that this game is more like an exhibition. It's not a preseason game, but this game, barring one of these teams blowing out the other one, I think this is just where you let it all hang loose. These are totally different teams from the last time they played 8 months ago in so many ways. And I truly believe these teams have a great shot of playing again in December or January. So it's pretty much barring a blowout. I'm not sure this is going to have the result is going to have much of an impact on either one of these teams in their future. So you can let it all hang out, right? Why not, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that, this is a week 1 matchup between number 1 and number 3. Obviously, we know the history. They met last year. They were both playoff teams last year. One team won the title. That team knocked the other team off out of the playoffs. And now going into week 1, it's a week 1 matchup, which is not common for a 1 versus 3 like this. Right. But I think the important thing to remember is, for both sides, a loss in this game does not automatically exclude you from another playoff appearance. And I think that's maybe the best thing about this is, years ago, the way college football was put together and the rankings and the polls, you lose the game in week 1, you know what, your season's over. Or that was the common thought. Your season's over. What do we got left to play for? That's the great thing about how it's structured now, is that whatever happens in this game, there's probably going to be a rematch. Like you said, they could meet again in December. And that, to me, just builds more excitement for a matchup like this. What do you think, Tim?
In 2005, the first time these teams ever played, Are you kidding me? They didn't even play in the 20th century or the 19th century. But the first time they ever played, I mean, Texas held sway in a great game. Vince Young with that drive near the end with like 2.5 minutes left, through a touchdown pass. And then Texas got a safety. I think the final was 25-22. Ohio State kicked, Josh Houston kicked a then record 5 field goals for Ohio State. And Texas wasn't that much more effective on offense, except for when it needed to be. But then Texas went on and won the national championship with Vince Young, right? Who I voted for the Heisman Trophy. He didn't win it, but I voted for him because I'm going, oh my goodness, if there's somebody who can tilt a game like this guy this year, show him to me. And then in 2006, Ohio State won down in Austin fairly convincingly and went on to play for the national championship after winning the, quote, game of the century against Michigan, and then got bushwhacked by Florida, led by a coach named Urban Meyer, who ended up obviously leading Ohio State to a national championship.
Game. Yes.
But the point is, back then, you're right, Tim, the import of these games back then, that was the BCS era. The import of these games was crazy. Got a little bit less with the college football playoff starting in 2014, but now with 12 teams, and both of these teams are loaded talent-wise. Anybody will tell you that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we talk about Ohio State and its offensive weapons, but Ohio State's loaded on defense. So is Texas. They're both replacing some key players on the defensive side. Ohio State more than maybe Texas, but they've got almost everybody who's playing for Ohio State or starting for Ohio State on defense tomorrow played extensively in that game against Texas back 8 months ago. So, this could be a very one of my good friends, Adam King of 10 TV here in town in Columbus, referred to it as a possible clunky game, and I agree with that because you know what, the game 8 months ago was clunky. Ohio State had 4 touchdowns. One was on a ridiculous screen pass. What was it, 75 yards just before halftime that Texas let get out of the gate. Travion Henderson scored on, and another of the touchdowns was Jack Sawyer's strip sack, scoop and score.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Texas, people forget Texas was at the 1 yard line at the beginning of that sequence.
Oh, that's right.
To tie the game, looking to tie the game. Instead, it would end up being a 28-14 game. I don't mean to relive history for everybody who's not a history buff.
That was the Jack Sawyer play, right? The Jack
Sawyer play, won the national championship, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it cemented it. Let's put it that way. Because they'd already stopped them with the strip sack. But yeah, the bottom line is, I think it could be a clunkier game tomorrow because two new starting quarterbacks. I know Arch has started 2-3 games already in his career. Julian saying making his first start for Ohio State. I keep reminding people he was one of the elite. He was one of the elite of the Elite 11 2 years ago. He was going to be Nick Saban's probably last starting quarterback, but Nick Saban pulled the rug on everybody on that when he transferred to Ohio State, and they really like how he's come on, especially in the last 2 weeks when he was named the starter. There's been a different Julian saying running practice and throwing the ball, etc. So they're pretty fired up about it, but you still got to stop that. You still got to hang on, find holes in that Texas defense and or pick up blitzes, etc.
Yeah, I think Payne was a big. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the import of this game really, it's not necessarily who wins or loses, but how the game is played, and because this is going to be one of those games where we compare the SEC and the Big Ten when it comes down to who deserves what and what the seedings are, and we start arguing like whose strength of schedule is better. We're going to look at this game and say, okay, Texas, they did X in the SEC, but look what they did to the Big Ten. Or conversely, hey, look what Ohio State did to Texas. And so this Big Ten league is probably better than we think. So I think that it becomes important in the conference rivalries when we start comparing these games later on down the line. We're going to be referring to this game a lot, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, no. You're exactly right in this sense. Let's say Ohio State ends up let's say Ohio State's on the bubble with the committee with like 2 losses, right?
Right.
And Texas is too. Well, this could be the deciding vote.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
That's the point. You never know what's going to happen, except I just think if you want to get a game like of this magnitude, if you want to play it, you want to play it early so that so that there's a lot of time for people to forget.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's for pride right now, but it can come back and bite you. But both of these teams have I mean, there's a good chance. There's a damn good chance either one of these teams could still make the playoff with 3 losses. I mean, that's what I'm looking at across the board, across the nation, as this season gets started. Either one of these teams, I think, could probably make it with 3 losses, because I think in the final analysis, if it's between you and another team with 3 losses, well, you know what? Ohio State and or Texas had the guts to play each other on opening day. Let's not penalize them for that.
No, and that's why these to Tim's point, this is why these big games matter, and I love the fact that we have this 12-team playoff now, which may go to 16. It allows you to play these games, and these are the games we want to see. I don't want to see Florida and Long Island University. I don't give a rat's ass about that. I want to see USF play Boise.
Long Island, LIU is always tough. Go ahead.
Oh, shut up.
To get to.
To get to. Right. Who wants to go?
But I tell you what, guys, that's why this weekend I mean, you got LSU opening at Clemson. Are you kidding
I know.
me?
Huge
I
game.
think Notre Dame is at Miami. That's a huge game.
Yeah.
If you took the numbers, I mean, everybody gets wrapped up in 1 versus 2, but that's just people. Obviously, the coaches think Ohio State's number 2. The writers think they're number 3. What do the writers know, right?
Yeah.
But if you just take the numbers off of it, these are 2 very talented teams, but so are those other teams I just named. I mean, Notre Dame was a hell of a team last year. I think they've got. It's going to be interesting, their quarterback situation with C.J. Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson playing. But I mean, and of course you got Carson Beck down there trying to resurrect his career. So, but I think there are quite a few intriguing games this weekend. This just happens to be grabbing the headlines because of some poll vote. But there's a lot on the line in terms of pride on this opening weekend, which is cool.
So, Tim, you mentioned at the beginning here that, of course, these are 2 somewhat new teams, a lot of roster turnover from the playoff game last year. They're both ushering in new starting quarterbacks. Do you think the infamiliarity or unfamiliarity with both teams, do you think that favors one or the other, or one unit or the other, offense, defense on either side?
That's an interesting question, because I've been posing that, not question, I've been posing that hypothesis for a while now, that I think if Ohio State has an advantage in the new part of it, it's Matt Patricia being the defensive coordinator. Because the last time these teams played, obviously Jim Knowles was Ohio State's defensive coordinator, and they did a hell of a job on Texas. You got to admit that for the most part. And but now he's gone to Penn State. You got Matt Patricia coming from the National Football League, where he's been the last 20-something years. He fell on his face as the head coach of the Detroit Lions. But sometimes that's just not your bailiwick, you know.
Sure.
He was a hell of an assistant coach for Bill Belichick, and was part and parcel to the way they did things. What I'm getting to here is, to a man, the Ohio State defensive players we've gotten to talk to through the preseason, and as late as Wednesday, we were talking to like Caleb Downs. Everybody knows who that is. Ohio State's All-American safety, and Sonny Styles, returning starting linebacker. They are quite intrigued with what Matt Patricia has brought to the fore in terms of new looks, nuances is what I call it.
Right.
Variations on a theme. Under Bill Belichick and the Patriots, I mean, he was known, Patricia and Belichick were known for changing fronts from one week to the next, sometimes from one series to the next.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
not giving you necessarily the same thing to look at almost 2 plays in a row. He's really big in the matchup area. That's where the NFL coaches really learn their craft, is in the matchup area of getting proper matchups, taking players away, but also getting like an Edric Houston, for example, one Ohio State's defensive tackle, or Caden McDonald, their other defensive tackle, in a mismatch situation in the middle of the defense, where you have a chance to get a step on somebody, get upfield and disrupt the play, get after Arch. He can run and throw, but hey, make him run and throw a little bit, right? Don't let him just stand there and launch. That's what is intriguing about this game, fellas. You know this. Both these defensive coordinators are going to be sending. They're going to be sending missiles at the other team. The other team's offensive fronts handle this, and that's the one interesting thing about this game that's missing for Ohio State from the last meeting was Quinshon Judkins, who had 3 touchdowns in that game, by the way, and Travion Henderson were both great. No, Quinshon had 3 touchdowns against Notre Dame. I get those 4 playoff games all mixed up in my head.
There's
a bunch of them.
There's a
but
lot
the
of
point
them.
was, they were both ruthless. Not were good. They were ruthless at picking up blitzes as running backs. Will James Peoples, C.J. Donaldson, the transfer from West Virginia, and by the way, young little running back named Bo Jackson. Will they be capable? Will they be willing to do the same thing against a really good defense, like with Anthony Hill coming at them downhill? Pardon the expression. So that will help tell the tale as much as anything else in this game.
Well, it's going to be a good one. I hate the early start, but it is what it is. We hope for an epic game, 1 versus 3, and we'll find out later in the year what kind of implications it has on the playoffs for both teams.
Tim, you're looking at the wrong poll, man. It's 1 versus 2.
All right.
In the
Come on, the
coaches
game of the
poll.
century.
Why wouldn't
Okay.
you, if you're gonna be about hyperbole at this point
Right.
in the week, why wouldn't you be all in on hyperbole, which is 1 versus 2?
Spoken like an Ohio State fan for sure. I get it.
There you go.
Tim, you want to give us a little preview of what's happening on the Tim May Show a little bit later today here on FanStream
Yeah.
Sports?
Yeah, I'm going to have Kirk Bowles been covering Texas as long, if not longer, than I've been covering Ohio State. He's now with the Houston Chronicle. I'm going to have an interview with him. We're going to have something, it looks like, from Urban Meyer talking about the game and maybe a couple other surprises. But we're really looking forward to this pregame Tim May Show. It should be fun.
Well, there you go. We appreciate you popping on with us, Tim.
The Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, former longtime TV guy here in town, and he and I are having a blast teaming up together for the first time. Before, about 2 months ago, we were rivals.
Yeah. Well, I've been, of course, following along your show, obviously, and helping out with editing and stuff. And it looks like you guys are having fun. It just looks like you guys are little kids in there having fun in the broadcast room by yourselves. It's amazing.
That's what we do here.
The show needed editing more than the Tim May Show. I'm with you, brother.
We appreciate you, Tim.
We call you the chopper. No, I'm just joking.
I do. I chop it all up, don't I?
Well, we're live from Tallahassee. We're live from Columbus. We're live from Dallas, where it's all happening in college football. I was at USF Boise State last night. We're going to have it covered, folks, stem to stern, all year long college football here on FanStream Sports. Tampa, Ohio, Dallas, all of it. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, yeah, man. What a game, man. Boise State thought they had him going, right?
And then so fast, my friend.
USF said, let's throw the ball. What the hell?
Not so fast, my friend, as my friend Lee Corso would say.
Exactly.
Not so fast. All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
See you, fellas.
All right. Well, before we go,
How about that?
We got it covered, bro. I mean, the biggest games, we got right to the source. The best information, you're going to get it right here on FanStream Sports.
By the way, he didn't promote this as much as I would have. His Urban Meyer is a one-on-one interview with Tim and Urban later on that was pre-recorded about this game. Yeah, so Tim and Urban recorded interview will be broadcast a little bit. We'll put it out later today on FanStream Sports Ohio. You guys should go check it out.
If you're a Buckeye fan, you can slobber all over that one.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, let's get to some of our commenters who it's been so rude to ignore today. Michael LaRue says Jerry Jones is a clown.
Michael LaRue don't know football then. I'm sorry, Michael.
After running your mouth, it's time to walk the walk, Castellanos. He also says, ain't that the truth? We'll see. He's got it back. Was he confident, cocky? We'll find out. Bucks Basement says, wish the Bucks were in on Parsons, but Light loves his picks too much, even if he can't draft edge rush in the top 2 rounds to save his life. They're so negative, Bucks.
Well, you don't need to pay an edge rusher $40 million. You just don't have to.
Yeah. He continues, hope Bucs fans realize if Reddick goes down for any length of time this season, we have to depend on Diaby and Braswell, who couldn't do anything against backups as our strong. Listen, and guess what? If Micah Parsons goes down like he normally does, the Packers wasted 2 first-round picks, a great player, and $47 million. So injuries are injuries. And the reason you don't spend $47 million on one player is so you have depth in case you do have injuries. Yeah. So I'd rather be where the Bucs are than pay $47 million.
And, interestingly, I saw a breakdown, and I'm not smart enough or good enough with numbers on this, on the Micah Parsons deal. And the same might have been the case in Florida or other places where he might have agreed to sign. But the money breakdown after taxes and everything on his $47 million a year, if it's $47 million a year in Dallas, the equal part of that with him working and playing for the Packers, he loses about $7.5 million a year.
Really?
On that contract because of whatever the tax structure is of playing and again, I'm not smart enough.
Green Bay?
Yeah, that's just what that's what I've seen it in a couple of places. So
blue state, high taxes.
Yeah,
the way it goes.
There you go.
Yeah. Michael Sorgo, good morning to you. Said have some time to watch the pre-games this week, and I want to focus on offensive line, defensive line, and linebacker. Anyone I need to watch a bit closer these positions, maybe even one who didn't make the roster. We talking about Bucs here, Mike? I'm not exactly sure which one he's talking about. TBH.
Probably Bucs. Yeah, it's probably
yeah.
Bucs, so.
I mean, listen, we've gone over the roster a ton here on this show, Michael. We did it yesterday with Josh Capo. Really good rundown if you want to go check out the show from yesterday. I think the Bucs offensive line, when Wirfs gets back, is top 5 in the game. I think it's that good. And with Charlie Heck, it's going to be okay. You still have 4 very good starters who have played a lot of football together. So I don't expect there to be a huge drop-off. There's going to be some. But, Josh Grizzard has got to coach around that and figure it out. That's what good coaches do. And I think he's a good coach. What else do we have here? Good morning to you, Nathan Elliott, who says there are plenty of degenerates out there. Don't take offense if you're not one of them.
True.
Many of our fans are. Jeff Stutler says fake punt last night with the third-string quarterback was a brilliant call by USF. May not have been, quote, quite the importance of the punt Ruski, but it was pretty damn good.
It was pretty awesome to watch.
Listen, in terms of what it does for USF, we talked about the importance of that game at the top end yesterday. You beat a top 25 team, which you have not done since 2011. 2016, you got Navy, but as far as Power 4, you haven't beat them since 2011. It's a long freaking time. And USF has everything to move up into the next conference realignment from the American to the ACC or the Big Ten, except winning football games. And you got to do that. You got to beat top 25 teams. That was huge. Now, if they can get Miami or Florida, which, hey, as good as they looked last night, I'm not going to go crazy about it, but Boise's a good team. They're an experienced team. They're big. I couldn't get over how big they were on both sides of the ball. Yeah. They're the best pass rush in the nation last year, and they brought all those guys back. And Byron made some of them look like kids. They got they're a very impressive football team. If Byron can stay healthy, which, the way he plays, I don't know. I don't know. The USF has got a chance to do. Listen, win your first conference championship ever. Yeah. You got the team to do it. If you can beat Boise, you should win the American. Fair?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the conference, but I would think, you beat a top 25 team, even if it's number 25, and not just beat them, but just whoop them you did. Just dominate the line of scrimmage, especially in the second half. Yeah, you should win that, the American conference. So, yeah.
John Hill coming hard says Byron Brown's USF quarterback diamond silver choker chain worn on the outside of his uniform is ridiculous and shows that NIL is out of control.
I didn't even see that.
I saw it when he was running on the field. I don't know how they wear that and play football. It's very, I don't know. What else we got here? Bantry is in this morning, says, not saying it happens, but check Myles Garrett's playoff stats. There are no guarantees. He hadn't
been there a lot.
But the point is, you got to do something in the playoffs to earn that money for Parsons. But with the Packers, he's got a better shot.
But I would tell you, Garrett's been way better in his playoff performances than Parsons has. Parsons has virtually disappeared in the playoffs in the couple of games that he's played in.
Yeah, Christopher Cole mentions Parsons didn't help the Cowboys win anything in 4 years.
No.
Yeah. That's true.
You think he's going to help you by paying him $47 million a year? Nope.
Nope. I don't get it. What else we got here? Christopher Cole, USF snuck the backup quarterback on the field for the fake punt, and Boise State missed it. Yeah, I was surprised they missed that because they were completely caught off guard.
Michael, there's got to be a coach somewhere on the sideline that sees that, right, and goes, "Hey guys, back quarterback." And
I think the gunner turned into be one of their top receiver as well.
Yeah.
So they had this receiver out there wide instead of a regular gunner. Michael LaRue says, if Godwin is expected to miss 4 weeks, why not just put him on IR? They said it's because they want him to practice, but players on IR have a 21-day practice window once they're designated to return. Yeah, I don't understand this, Michael.
That either. Yeah.
I don't understand this. The same with Wirfs. If he's definitely going to be out 4 weeks, why are you keeping a roster spot? And plus, both of these guys, it's not like they need a lot of ramp up time. They're both veterans. They know what they're doing. I'm not criticizing as much as just asking questions like that. They must know something. There must be something to this because that doesn't make sense. They're smarter. They're smarter than the obvious.
We would think with Wirfs, maybe have an extra offensive lineman on the roster instead of Wirfs, right? They could use that spot just as a protection, as for depth if something happens. But again, we talked about it the day they made the announcement, because they made the announcement on both players joining the 53 rather than going to the IR. That those spots could be used, we think, better than that. But again, we don't question what Jason Licht's doing.
Yeah, there must be something that they know, because it seems like an obvious criticism. And again, they're smarter than that, and they know more than us. Yeah. If it was an organization like the Cowboys, you didn't know what the F they were doing, I would question it. But I have to, with this organization, they've earned the trust that they know what the hell they're doing. So Rick says, JP takes his shirt off tonight. A Tallahassee police issue a silver alert. 911. What's your emergency? There's an old lady topless at Bowden's waving his arms, imitating Foghorn Leghorn.
Rick, you just made me spit my coffee out.
Rick, that's a classic right there, baby. That's a classic.
Just spit my coffee out all over.
Sports Pat says, is this a sports show or an FSU show? Go Gators. Sorry, Pat. You're right. We haven't talked about the LIU Gator game. Listen, when you play somebody, we'll talk about you. But since you're not playing anybody, you don't get any run. Is that fair, right? So Scott Carter will join us next week when they play a real game.
I mean, we had a couple of Urban Meyer references. What more Gators do you want?
Exactly. Come on. Elijah Barnes says, hey, JP, going to catch up with Jeff Cameron, ready for the big game tomorrow? Go Noles. Yeah, I'd like to see Jeff. I listen to his podcast a lot. Really good. warchant.com podcast. Does a great job covering. Michael LaRue says, happy trails to Lee Corso. He's been an incredible ambassador to college football. Yeah, I sent you a picture of Lee Corso. They have in here by the bathroom. Right by the bathroom. The disrespect. But listen, I think ESPN had an opportunity to, instead of going to Ohio State, Texas, just like Fox is going to be there for their pregame show, they could have come here where the Sunshine Scooter first got started playing on Doe Campbell Stadium, his beloved Noles, to honor him and honor FSU. You could have come here, but you didn't. And we all know what that's about. Shame on you, ESPN. Mm-hmm. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. All right. Anything else that we missed today?
I don't think so. Go Noles.
Shout out to listen, I'm taking FSU in the 13.5. I'm not going to bet the money line. I'm not betting on money. Listen, it would be silly to bet on this game, to be honest with you. Nobody knows what Florida State has. It just would be silly unless you're just desperate to get a little action.
If you want to bet on this game, please call 1-800-GAMBLERS Anonymous or whatever it is.
You need help.
I have a problem.
You need help. So I can't give you any. I love Texas tomorrow as an underdog. I think Arch, they've just developed him in such a perfect way. They haven't hurried him. He's had the same people around him. He knows the personnel. He knows the offense. Ohio State, really, they're breaking in a new quarterback, a good one, but breaking him in. That Texas defense, I like Texas in that game. I'm going to take the Noles in the points, but probably not going to bet the game. And then the late game, I take Clemson. I think they beat LSU.
We differ all over the board. I've got Ohio State.
Okay.
By virtue of being at home at the Horseshoe, and I think Julian Sayin will be a better quarterback than Arch Manning. And remember, I'm a huge Manning family fan, so that's hard for me to say, but I love Julian Sayin. I've got the Noles outright, and I've got LSU. There you go.
All right,
Aggies,
cool.
Aggies over UTSA. Gig 'em.
Yeah, I take UTSA and the points there. What's the number on that?
I haven't looked at it lately.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
All right. Thanks to Dave Roberts who stopped by, Pat Burnham. If you missed anything, Emily Peters, appreciate all of them. I'm going to have a few cocktails and play a little golf, my friend. Keep an eye on our social media. I'll bring you all the happenings here. We'll be up at a Champions Club tomorrow watching the game. So go Noles, and we will see you on Monday.